was a Democrat 2 years ago when Elon bought Twitter, and I saw the corruption that was happening. He wouldn't go into politics unless he really feels it will be better for America.
Did you sense or ever felt that he was destined for greatness?
Well, from the age of 3, he could reason with me. We called him my genius boy.
Do you consider yourself an influencer?
Yes, I'm influencing and helping a lot of women who are scared of aging.
What is your number one expectation of the Trump administration? Maye Musk, warm welcome to Icons. Icons is our premium show in Moniify. Moniify is media news platform we just launched 2 months ago.
Well done.
And it's a big honor to start with you. There are obviously many reasons why you are here, why we wanted to have you as our first icon. But maybe above all the reasons, one is that looking at what you did in your life, you may bring us luck. And very honored to have you here.
Thank you.
I would like to start with something very simple. You have so many things in your life, you have so many hats. So how would you just describe yourself to someone you meet for the first time?
Okay, so I'm a mother of 3 fabulous kids. I'm a doctor of dietetics, which was my real job until I became a supermodel. At 76, you can't make that up.
What is crazy that you make that all in less than 10 seconds. It's very impressive. Do you consider yourself in this world as an influencer?
Yes, I think I'm influencing and helping a lot of women aging, who are scared of aging.
So amongst millions of questions, I would like to start with maybe the most important one, in my opinion, for you regarding all the achievements you had. How do you define true happiness? And maybe even more importantly, does your perspective on it change with the time?
Yes, well, I'm happy when my 3 children are happy. Of course, if you're a parent, you know you don't want one child to be sad. I'm happy if we are all in good health. And I love traveling, and I'm traveling a lot. So it's a really good stage of my life.
You know, we try to structure this discussion into 3 small parts. Maye as the businesswoman, Maye as the mom, and Maye as the citizen. It looks from all what you say that you are putting always your family, your role of mom first. You even said it, you know, when I said, can you describe yourself? You started with a mom. Yeah. We could expect you to consider yourself first as a businesswoman, first as an entrepreneur, first as someone who achieved millions of things in life, and at the end of the day, being a mom, no?
Yeah, no, pretty much when my children say, when Tosca has a premiere for Passion Flicks, I will not book anything else. When Kimball is launching, like he opened his restaurant in Austin, Texas, and now he has Nova Skies drone shows. When he wants me there, I do that. And then with Elon, he has lots of launches. Well, but the main rocket launches, the main Tesla launches, boring tunnel, whatever he has going, I will block out time for my children.
What advice would you give to your own 20-year-old self?
Well, 20 years old, I was struggling to finish my Bachelor of Science degree. I had to do it in Afrikaans because that's where I could study to be a dietitian. And it was hard, and I was going through a hard time. And then life went easier, and then it went hard, and then it goes easier. And so I should have said to myself, when you're in a hard situation, get out of it quicker than you do, because you can't change people.
Do you think that someone today who is 20 years old has the same chances of going through the journey you had?
Well, the nice thing about social media is now you can let people know what you're doing and that you're relevant. And from there, you can build your business or go in the direction you want to go, and you might need to change it. And you might go in a different direction because when you become relevant, then you get opportunities. And then you can decide, well, let's try this. Some work, and mostly work, and some don't, and that's okay too.
When you were young, you were frequently, every year, I think, with your family searching for the lost city. Mm-hmm. Did you find it?
We didn't find it, but that didn't stop my dad from wanting to be an adventurer. So we would go across the desert, and what he wanted us to learn how to rough it. This means we sleep on a sleeping bag on the ground with the lions and the hyenas coming into it, and then we have to hide in the car. But it just teaches you that you can sleep anywhere, which helped a lot, because when my kids were at university, I would sleep on the floor, on a mattress on the floor, on the couch or whatever. You know, you can do with much less.
Look, May, let's move now to May as the mother. I want to start with a question that you have dinners with family, with your children.
Yes.
Are you and are your children speaking about changing the world all the time? Or are you very relaxed and easy and just, everyday life things?
Yes, everyday life things, laughing and joking, and we laugh a lot because we have the English sense of humor. And you can't use that in America, because they don't understand irony or sarcasm. So we can make a lot of jokes.
If we look at, we want to speak about your three children. We all know a lot about them. Will there be one thing that's maybe surprising to all of us that we don't really know about any of them? Is there one thing that comes to your mind?
Well, Elon surprises us every time when he says he's going to do something. So when he said to me, I'm going to put satellites in the air so that people who are in forests or on hills or in the middle of the ocean can be saved. It will save lives. And now it's saving lives around the world.
Speaking about Elon, we all, of course, try to understand the trajectory and your role in this trajectory. I would just like to go to one single part of the story and to have your view as a mom. When Elon, at 12 years old, I think, created this video game, blah, 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 star. At that precise moment, did you understood at that time already, so early in the journey, as a mom and as an entrepreneur, did you sense or ever felt that he was destined for greatness? Or did you just at that precise moment thought that it was just a great idea from a bright mind?
Well, from the age of 3, he could reason with me. And then once he could start reading, he could remember everything he read. Encyclopedias, he can remember everything. So we called him my genius boy. And that was fine. And then, but geniuses can be in a basement working genius things, but they don't have the ability to actually implement it. And he does, which is very special.
To finish with the family, will there be any story about your family that you never mentioned publicly, but that you think could inspire the young generation that is following us?
Yes, well, with a young generation, if you have an idea and you know it's going to be better for the world or good for people, then pursue it and then make a difference.
We may, if we look a bit more in depth, we may consider that having a son like, of course, Elon, maybe, does it make at the end the life easier or much more complex in your own journey? I'm having in mind 2 illustrations. We all understand now that Elon is moving in politics a bit.
Oh, and that's temporary.
This is temporary.
Yes. I was going to say, he wouldn't go into politics unless he really feels it will be better for America.
But, I mean, so there is this part of him. Does it make your life easier or somewhere more complicated or complex, that's his involvement in politics? I'm just speaking about you.
Yes, it makes me very happy for the future. I was a Democrat until 2 years ago when Elon bought Twitter, and I saw the corruption that was happening and the millions that were given to Twitter if they remove Republicans' names. And I'm saying, but that's dishonest. You're using my tax money to get rid of people just because they're in a different party. That's dishonest. And so that's when I decided the Democrats are not honest.
So these made you change your mind?
Yes. And it's really hard to go when you're a strong Democrat to actually, then I became neutral and now I'm Republican because I can just see the future is going to be better.
Let's say as a simple citizen, let's put out the hat of a Republican. What is your number one expectation of this new administration? Do you have one big expectation for your country?
Yes, we're going to know what's going on and where our money is spent, because we get taxed a lot. and now we'll know where the tax money goes.
And I guess in all objectivity, this is where the Department of Government Efficiency
Yes.
will have a key role, correct? And you are, I guess, expecting a lot from it, correct?
Yes, I am.
And it's interesting that you are saying that it's just a short-term commitment, because Maye does understand every time that when he starts something, he never stops, correct? He climbs everything.
Well, I'm saying it's a short commitment. I don't know if he's saying it, but I'm saying once you have removed the corruption and remove the spending of tax money to people who don't work, then pretty much he would have done his job. I don't know how long it will take, but you know, he really loves cars and rockets.
Yeah. I'm always saying we all love cars and rockets. He just
Yes.
did something more than any one of us did in life.
Yeah.
So my last question was, would you think that Elon will make a good president one day for America? But
Yeah, he can't. He wasn't born in America.
Yeah, that's.
And I don't think that's his goal.
So his genuine goal, and I will of course finish on that, is for you as a mom, is all about passion. Finally, correct? He's all about vision and
just honesty and progress. That's what I think.
And he got that from you?
Of course.